Hello everyone. Hello and welcome back to the Great Estony Chronicles. So we're still in the last trial of the game. And last time we kind of discovered that Kazuma might be an assassin, which is kind of weird. Also, we still don't know why Dr. Wilson had to die. I wonder if we're gonna know that at some point. Oh, maybe because he was implicated in the professor case. So there must be a reason. Huh. Anyway, let's get back to it then. Fourth of November, 9:30 a.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. Before we begin today, I have a brief announcement. As with the closed trial 10 years ago, some astonishing facts have come to light in these proceedings. The revelation that the well-known Reaper is actually an organization illegally executing its own brand of justice. And the discovery that a respected yard inspector was at its head until he himself perished in an assassination plot. Well, I say to all members of the judiciary here present on this occasion that we will stop at nothing to uncover the whole truth behind these disturbing findings. Counsels, you will undertake this trial with the resolve to pursue the truth to the bitter end. Resolve? Oh yes, that's my intention. My lord, if I may inquire. The defendant may speak. On what ground is Kazuma Asogi permitted to continue in his role as a prosecutor? He has admitted to colluding with the victim in a plot to assassinate an innocent man. He shouldn't be enjoying the privilege of freedom, let alone be leading the prosecution. I submitted a written petition to Lord Strongheart, requesting that judgment of my transgressions be delayed by 1 day. You did what? In today's proceedings, I intend to expose everything. Hey, Becky Stu. How are you doing today? Got Lord Van Zee starting with a very pertinent remark. Not bad. Good. Well, I don't know. Are we in good territory or just not bad? It's raining hard outside? Oh. Oh, hey, missus. How are you doing today? It's raining hard. I was going to ask if you weren't too hot, but probably not. I can't seem to really shake the cold. Ah, you need blankets. Not bad. How are you? Well, I'm fine. I'm good. I don't know. What have I done today? I don't even remember. My whole life for the last 10 years has all been leading up to this one day. Kazuma. Whatever the outcome of this trial, I give my word that I will accept whatever punishment is deemed appropriate, however severe. The wind changed to southerlies yesterday. We lost about 10 degrees. 10 degrees in a day? Wow. That's a big drop. Oh, by the way, package 2, can I ask you something? Do me a favor. If you hear the mic clipping, please tell me. It's cold and rainy here. Oh well, you know, England, I want to say. That's the light in Wellington for you. Okay. Okay. I haven't heard clipping yet. Right. Because there's something weird about sound. I don't know if it's Twitch, the way Twitch handles sounds. Because when I do some testing using Audacity, I never clip my microphone. But sometimes when I listen to the replays, watch the replays, I don't know, the sound is weird. I gotta make more tests. And I suggest you prepare yourself for the same, Reaper. Kazuma is bristling with hostility today. I get the distinct impression we're heading into very dangerous territory. Oh, is that really even Kazuma-sama standing before us? As an extreme exception to normal practices, I have granted this prosecutor's request. The defense finds this acceptable, I presume. Wait, what? Why does he presume that? Guess we're gonna be fine with that. Yes, my lord. In that case, in the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. We resume the closed hearing of Barack Van Zeeks. The defense is ready, my lord. The prosecution is more than ready. I gotta say, a strong heart is kind of a drama queen. Very well then. This preamble has taken long enough. Prosecutor Asogi, begin! As you wish, my lord. The prosecution calls the first witness to the stand. Bring Seishiro Jigoku into the courtroom. Oh, at last then, we've reached the final battle. He's putting literally everything on the line now in order to get to the truth. Focus, Ryunosuke. Come on, Ryunosuke. It's time for the steely resolve, because this is going to test it to the limit. Witness, state your name and occupation for the court. So it was you who issued this, was it? What? Your subpoena? I did what's necessary. You don't have last resort bunny ears to pull on anymore. No, but I don't think we need that anymore. So, should be fine. It would be, I don't know, might be a distraction to have a direct line to Sholmes during the trial. Well, look what the young man has become. I didn't think I'd see the day when you'd take that tone with me, I must say. The witness will ensure his responses are pertinent to the question asked. My name is Seishiro Jikoku, a Supreme Court judge from the Empire of Japan. 16 years ago, this man came to London as a visiting student. 6 years later, he returned to Japan. As well as presiding over the Supreme Court, he's also currently Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs. How can that be? That's kind of weird, I gotta say. But, I mean, that's for story's sake. I am of course fully aware of Mr. Chikoku and his preeminent roles. I invited him personally to the International Forensic Science Symposium as a representative of his country. I hear he also played a key role in the conclusion of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. Ha! It was a great honor to be involved in the negotiations. I put my all into that treaty. Oh, Judge Chikoku, I must ask. Well, I never fancied a young murdering student turning up here in of all places. Hey, I didn't murder anyone. You acquitted me yourself. And now, I'm a practicing defense lawyer. Yes, and full of self-importance like your friend across the courtroom, I see. You came here to London by invitation to the International Forensic Science Symposium. Wow, that's mouthful. But then, without informing anyone of your plans, you took flight to France. Oh, took flight? I'd have to object to that turn of phrase. Yeah, worth thinking the same. And explain yourself. What exactly were the circumstances? Oh well, I was somewhat expecting this. I'm sorry to say. I decline to comment. Wait, what? Can you do that? Wait, what? Leaving the country prematurely when I was an invited guest, may be questionable etiquette. But my decision is unrelated to this case. I can't be bound to testify. Oh dear. Those judiciary types, they're the worst witnesses. Unrelated, you say? I appreciate that the respected police inspector has been killed, for which I offer my condolences. However, being an alien, I'd obviously never met the man, nor do I know the first thing about him. As such, I'm in no position to testify. It's as simple as that. Oh, so you would run from all this? I beg your pardon? Objection. Oh, I should add the, the effect on the screen. I don't know if I can do it. No. The system I'm using right now, I can't. No, this case is more far-reaching than the murder of Inspector Gregson. It has ties to another murder, a case that was tried in Japan almost a year ago now. A year ago in Japan? The murder of Dr. John H. Wilson, you mean? That's right, and you, Judge Jigoku, are at the heart of both cases. The defense has evidence to prove it. We found part of Rexon's watch in Jigoku's cabin. Yeah! There is a connection. Hmm? Well, Ryunosuke, I see from the look in your eyes that you're resolved to carry this through to the very end too. Let's see your evidence then. What proof do you have that Seishiro Jigoku is involved in this case? Well, yeah. Part of Inspector Gregson's watch, of course.
Take that!
What on earth is that? This piece of evidence is a welcome present to the courthouse with the compliments of the defense. You have a poor grasp of British court etiquette, counsel. That's the extent of your resolve? You disappoint me. Ryunosuke naruhodo. Wait, what? That wasn't it? Stand still, Mr. Naruhodo-san. That was a minor blow. Oh, okay. Is it a telegram? I don't know. Having your best friend tell you he's disappointed in you really stings, though. Of course, we have evidence that ties Judge Jigoku to this case. Evidence showing a few key names, even. That's some clue. Good. There's still plenty of fight in your eyes. Let's see your evidence then. Okay. It's the telegram. Wait, is it a telegram? Found as indicated, duplicates follow. Yeah, that's the telegram. Okay. This is a telegram detailing a communication sent between Britain and Japan approximately 1 year ago. The communication contained 4 names: K. Esogi, A. Shin, T. Gregson, and J. Wilson. Oh, he's not happy about that. You little... Where did you get that? In Tokyo. From your office, Judge Jigoku. What? What on earth did you? What's this all about? Why is my name on that list? A fair question. This list of 4 names follows a certain pattern. T. Gregson and J. Wilson are the name of victims. K. Esogi and A. Shin are the names of assassins. No! A year ago in Tokyo, Dr. John H. Wilson's life was taken in a Western-style restaurant in the capital. The Western-style restaurant, well, I don't know, it's a bit of a... too much information there. The culprit was found to be a visiting student who went by the name of Joselle Brett. But her real name was Asa Shin, a professional killer sent on a mission to kill from Great Britain. A. Shin and her victim, J. Wilson. And the murder that just took place here in London was the counterpart to that crime. An assassin sent from Japan, also a visiting student, Kazuma Asogi, whose victim was the British police inspector Tobias Gregson. K. Asogi and T. Gregson. One assassin from each country to kill a target residing in the other. What exactly is a defense suggesting? these two cases of murder, one that took place in Britain, and one in Japan, were masterminded by a pair of individuals from each country as a form of assassin exchange. Wow, usually you have student exchange. And the telegram the defense has acquired is proof of this international contract to kill. What? The telegram was found in your office, Judge Jigoku. Well, they came as students. Ah, yeah, well, I guess it's okay then. In other words, the mastermind in Japan was you. Judge Shigoku, what is this all about? And you, Kazuma, you lied. During yesterday's proceedings, you acknowledged that you'd accepted the assassination mission. But the mark wasn't Judge Jigoku at all. It was T. Gregson, Detective Inspector of Scotland Yard, as shown by the name on the killing contract. Very impressive, Ryunosuke. But actually, I didn't lie. Wait, what? The name of the target I was ordered to kill never passed my lips yesterday. The idea that Seishiro Jigoku was a mark came entirely from you. Oh well, yeah, that's a bit easy. Yeah, he lied by omission. Yeah, exactly. Well, technically he's right, but... Huh? Or you deliberately avoided saying your name? The defense claims these four names indicate some sort of international assassin exchange. I'm sure I speak for all present when I say that the very idea seems utterly absurd. Well, Mr. Jigoku, what do you have to say for yourself? Nothing, apparently. His silence only goes to prove his guilt. Oh, there's another very important point that this new development brings to light. There's now a distinct possibility that the scene of Inspector Gregson's actual murder was in the witness's cabin aboard the SS Grouse. Judge Shigoku, you have to testify now. To refuse would put you in contempt of court. Oh, there's no need for quite such a vicious stare, young man. I thought this was explicit in yesterday's scene with Sholmes that Kazuma didn't clarify who the mark he was referring to was. Oh yeah, but well... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I don't remember actually. Why is he so happy right now? Very well then. As a parting gift to you all, I'll tell you everything I know. And now Ryunosuke is all surprised. You know Ryunosuke. Surprise is kinda his thing. It seems this Japanese gentleman has information that the court must hear about the alleged assassin exchange and the events of the night of the 31st of October. Present your formal testimony now. As you wish, my lord. Witness testimony. The assassin exchange. It's true that Kazuma Asogi was assigned the assassination mission 1 year ago now. The target was Inspector T. Gregson. That was a condition of the British study tour. However, in the end something happened that meant the young man was unable to carry out his mission. On the evening in question, a member of the crew was on duty outside my cabin at all times. If there'd be a shot fired, the crewman would have heard it. So clearly, I can't be involved. Oh man, he's lying. So you admit it then, as this communication suggests. There really was an assassin exchange arrangement between Britain and Japan. A political endeavor at the highest levels, not something I can discuss here. To use such a worthy practice as foreign study to coerce somebody to commit murder. It's the most appalling thing I've ever heard. You should be ashamed of yourself. Appalling? Well, it's easy to judge. And I know something about judging, you know. Pardon? Pardon? Asogi has had a reason for taking his sword to that British inspector, you know. What? What? Exactly. Which is why he accepted the mission in the first place. Isn't that right, Counsel? Oh, Kazuma-sama. Judge Shikoku, if you are the mastermind behind this operation in Japan, then tell the court the identity of your counterpart in Britain. I'm not obliged to divulge that information. As I said yesterday, I've killed nobody. I freely admit that I accepted the mission, but on the night the plan was to be executed, I backed out. In short, this assassin exchange that the defense has identified is unrelated to the events of this case. The crucial point is this. Your police inspector can't have perished aboard the steamship in Dunkirk. Because if he'd been shot in the cabin, it's inconceivable that a member of the crew wouldn't have heard it. Oh, that's why we... Oh, alright. Now it makes sense. That paper. Following departure from the port of Dunkirk, all crew members are required to assemble on the main deck at 10 p.m. in order to review evacuation procedures. The drill will take 20 minutes. Okay. That's right. Gregson was killed after returning to London, in the room on Fresno Street. Why is he playing along? And the perpetrator of the crime was the Reaper, Barak van Zeeks. The prosecution's accusation remains unchanged. To think that a seemingly innocent foreign exchange program was a facade for such Machiavellian dealings. Clearly, it's a plot only a government minister and high-ranking judge, such as the witness, could hope to execute. Well, I seem to recall that it was someone on the British side who controlled everything. Be that as it may, it is not the place of this court to pursue this villainous assassin exchange plot. We are concerned only with the tangible events pertaining to the murder of Inspector Gregson. Is the defense clear on that point, counsel? Yes, my lord. I'll keep that in mind as I cross-examine the witness. The assassin exchange. Oh, it's true that Kazuma Sogi was assigned the assassination mission 1 year ago.
Hold it!
A year ago? When Kazuma was still in Japan, then? Oh, correct. It was at the examination center for applicants for the study tour that I approached him. I'll never forget it. I remember exactly what you said. You just came out and asked me forthright if I'd consider traveling to Britain on an assassination mission. Wait, what? Just like that? What if he refused? Oh, surely not. I thought it was a joke at first, of course. But then, it was made clear to me that if I didn't accept, I wouldn't be considered for the study tour. So you agreed to it? Just for that? I mean, I know how much you wanted to study in England, but assassination? That's a bit much. The Empire of Japan had accepted a proposal from the British Empire at the time. An agreement to send a student from each country to the others to deepen cultural understanding and friendship. I want to say that assassin coming to Japan, I don't think it deepened anything, cultural or any other thing. But behind the scenes, the chosen students were to be given assassination missions. I had no choice but to accept a proposal that originated from British counterpart. Forgot to mention I'm back. Well, welcome back. Oh, why? Why didn't you expose the plot there and then? Britain acknowledges no part in these alleged misbegotten dealings. I'm off to bed now. I'm working tomorrow for the first time in a month. Oh! Well, have a good night, missus. And have a good day tomorrow. I advise you not to make spurious allegations, Foreign Minister Chikoku. Is that a threat? As a witness, I am bound to tell the truth, my lord. Anyway, I picked Asagi and explained the details of the plan to him. The target was Inspector T. Gregson. That was a condition of the British study tour.
Hold it!
Why Kazuma? Why did you pick him as the assassin? He was the most capable of all the applicants, and in addition, I knew his desire to travel to Britain was very strong. In fact, it was almost more than a desire. It was his whole purpose in life. Ah yes, as his best friend, I can certainly attest to that. He probably wanted to investigate his father's death. The way he threw himself into his studies, the way he pursued becoming qualified as a lawyer. It was all ultimately for that one single goal of being accepted on a study tour to Britain. Oh, and of course, we know the reason behind that. Oh, wait a sec. He was determined to find out for himself the truth about his father, Genshin Asugi. There's nothing I wouldn't have done to get here. Be that agreeing to assume the role of an assassin, or betraying people's trust. Oh dear. Or playing dead. Oh well, you certainly did a fine job betraying mine, Asugi. What? But why was Inspector Gregson the target? Oh yeah, he betrayed his trust because he didn't assassinate Gregson. I have no idea. Those were the orders from Britain. I was in no position to question them. You have no idea, really? I find that hard to believe. Oh, do you? Oh, Judge Jigoku was once a visiting student here, in Britain, himself, of course. Perhaps he has some connection with Inspector Gregson from that time. Yeah. Well, they must have known each other because Gregson was the one who caught the professor. The defense really ought to catch up. With what? With the fact that the assassin exchange has absolutely nothing to do with the case and the scrutiny here. Yes, I've already admitted to recruiting Asagi. However, in the end something happened that meant the young man was unable to carry out his mission.
Hold it!
Oh, I presume you're referring to the incident that occurred during Kazuma's passage to Britain in January. Garde-robe. The awful tragedy that took place on the steamship. Word arrived at the ministry some 2 weeks after the ship's departure for our shores. The visiting student had been killed, but his body had somehow gone missing in Hong Kong. The news was wired to me from a detective I'd placed on the ship to accompany the assassin. But that's why he was, okay, under protection. Obviously, Kazuma didn't actually die at all. But he did lose his memory, including all details about his special mission. Did you not consider dispatching another assassin at this point? Hey, now he wants to know more. Oh, that was impossible. Simply because that black-clad young student over there had already put himself forward as Asagi's replacement. And there was no way to stop him from reaching Britain. Ah. My hands were completely tied. Oh, so Mr. Shaw's strategy worked perfectly. He predicted everything that would happen. Months later, my memory returned. But I'd never intended to go through with the assassination mission anyway. Oh, so you were playing me right from the outset, were you? Is that it? I'd sooner be guilty of that crime than of taking someone else's life. I was prepared to do whatever I had to do in order to get myself here, to Britain. This line of questioning has gone on long enough. All the court should be concerned about in the testimony given by this witness are details relating to his relationship with Inspector Gregson and the victim's murder. Oh, in that case, as I've already made perfectly clear, I had no connection to the man or his death. And you have some means of substantiating this plea? Oh, wait. Isn't that going against assumption of innocence? The evening in question, a member of the crew was on duty outside my cabin at all times.
Hold it!
Outside your cabin, in the first-class area of the SS Grouse, you mean? Yes, that's right. Not least because there was a murder of a student passenger earlier in the year, I imagine. The liner operators have taken to trusting crewmen outside every first-class cabin door. Oh, really? I can confirm the presence of the crewman guard myself. What do you mean? Because I accompanied Inspector Gregson to Dunkirk that night. I witnessed it with my own eyes. There was a well-built crewman standing guard directly in front of the door to the witness's cabin. At that particular time, of course, I'd gone to the ship's dining room for dinner. Chicken, yeah, I think it's chicken with a T. Wait, do we have him in the court record? I don't know. Oh, I don't think we do. Yeah, I think it was a T. What a Gaiden. The inspector and I asked the crewman to allow us into the cabin while we waited for Judge Jikoko's return. Oh, I suppose Inspector Gregson was there in his capacity as a Reaper. He was intending to take the witness's life. Exactly. As I've said numerous times now, I had no intention of killing anyone. So, the crewman let two potential assassins into the cabin he was supposed to be guarding. Not the most convincing of centuries, really. In truth, those were my thoughts too. But anyway, I stayed to talk with Inspector Gregson for a short while. And then I left him there and made my way off the ship alone. Was the guard still at the door when you went? Yes. He glared at me as I walked past. Oh, you see? That proves it. That proves what? If there'd been a shot fired, the crewman would have heard it, so clearly I can't be involved.
Hold it!
The crewman who was standing directly outside your cabin door, you mean? That's right. A muscular man with a permanent grim expression on his face. He didn't once move from that spot. Didn't he ever got to get to the bathroom? To be honest, I thought he was a miserable fellow. What? But as it happens, he's a vital witness now. There's no doubt that Gregson was killed by a gunshot. It is inconceivable that a crewman standing just outside the cabin door wouldn't have heard that.
Oh, but wait. What about the ship's enormous steam engines? The noise of them could have drowned out the sound of the gun being fired.
Oh, said the young judicial assistant. That won't wash. That won't wash?
Oh,
Oh, you will recall that my cabin was in the first class area of the ship, which is also, of course, the quietest. Don't imagine for a moment that it's anything like steerage, where the judicial assistants go. Hey, does he have to rub that in her face?
oh, I didn't mean...
Steam wash. Obviously. But a hole like that made by a bullet was found in your cabin. Judge Goku. Oh, that's compelling evidence that a gun was fired in there. Oh, what's that? A bullet hole? Oh yes, you're talking about what the detective uncovered in the wall yesterday, I presume. It was obviously a rotten panel eaten out by woodworm. No doubt he didn't find an actual bullet. Oh, that's the hole in this argument. Sadly, I was unable to arrange for the crewman to be brought back to Britain with me. But obviously, if a gun had been fired in my cabin on the night in question, as the defense implies, I would have been arrested on the spot, and would never have made it to Britain in the first place. Very true. The witness's logic is sound. Since no gunshot was heard from the witness's cabin on the night in question, we must assume that the witness is telling the truth. I'm glad you've seen sense, my lord.
Oh, I know Kazuma's already admitted to taking on this incredible assassination plot, but even so, hearing it confirmed by somebody else is still a real shock. Oh, it's unforgivable. Using Kazuma-sama's feeling to manipulate him into agreeing to such a despicable plan.
Oh, but I think Kazuma manipulated Judge Shigoku too. He completely double-crossed him.
Oh, dear. Oh, it's hard not to see that as a stroke of brilliance on Kazuma-sama's part.
Oh, one way or another though, Gregson ended up dead. I really think that the murder must have happened aboard that steamship.
Oh, so you mean...
Judge Shigoku must be lying.
Oh. Oh, I know I shouldn't let my emotions cloud my judgment. But you must destroy him. None of us. Crush him. Like an insect.
Okay, I know what we have to do. A member of the crew was on duty outside my cabin at all times. We know that's not true.
Objection!
Yes, and the court has heard. There was a crewman posted outside Judge Yuku's cabin. However, we can be sure that, contrary to the witness's claim... the guard wasn't there at all times. What? I have here a notice of a particular event that was scheduled to take place aboard the steamship. Oh, sorry, scheduled to take place aboard the steamship on the 31st. Oh, what? Where did you get that? It's evidence gathered by Mr. Holmes. You were acquainted yesterday, if you remember. Holmes again? Damn him. According to this itinerary,
After leaving the port of Dunkirk at exactly 10 p.m. and for a period of 20 minutes, all crewmen of the SS Grouse were together on deck for an evacuation drill. All crewmen were away from their posts? That's weird that they would do that when the ship is at sea, but well. And during that 20-minute interval, of course, any gunshot emanating from your cabin would have been heard by no one. Oh, he's not happy about that. In summary, Judge Shigoku, you had ample opportunity to commit the crime. Oh.
Objection.
What? A 20-minute window of opportunity. That's an excellent find, Ryunosuke. Why do you object then? But it amounts to nothing. Wait, what? Why? Because the witness clearly stated in his testimony that no incident occurred in his cabin. Well, he lied. What are you saying? Unless you have some decisive evidence that can show his testimony to be false. Oh yes, I've got it. Your accusation is nothing more than conjecture.
Very true. Well, counsel.
Inspector Gregson was killed in Judge Jigoku's cabin that night. I'm certain of it. Yeah, just like his accusation of 2006. Yeah. Because the defense has the evidence to prove it.
You will present the evidence for the defense at once, counsel. What proof do you have that the victim's life was taken in Chigoku's cabin on the 31st of October?
Now we can use this. Judge Shigoku, this was found in your cabin yesterday.
What is that? The crown of a pocket watch?
A pocket watch? And if you will observe, the victim's pocket watch, which we know he's treasured, is missing precisely that part.
It can't be.
Moreover, this crown is a perfect fit on the spindle protruding from the victim's watch. Huh. Now, the fact that this was retrieved from Judge Jigoku's cabin tells us that the victim's watch almost certainly broke there. In other words, the victim was killed on the 31st during the 20-minute evacuation drill. In the cabin occupied by you, Judge Jigoku.
Oh. Well, you're rather sharp, aren't you? You young murderer.
Hey, I'm not a murderer, you are. Why is he pointing to Kazuma? Expertly maneuvered, Ryunosuke. Huh? It's projection. Why he should be pointing to the witness. And your argument sounds entirely plausible. At first. But rather like this pocket watch is full of cracks. What? What? And I believe Judge Shigoku feels the same way.
What was wrong to acquit you earlier in the year?
Wait, what? Sorry, what?
If I'd known that it would result in anyone having to listen to this drivel, I would have declared you guilty just to spare the world of your ridiculous bombast.
Huh?
I think it's clear that the witness will have to give further testimony. Oh, when you hear what actually happened in my cabin that night, you'll notice the pitfall into which you stumbled. Prior to your renewed testimony, I would like to clarify one point. The fact that this part of the victim's watch was discovered in your cabin means that you acknowledge he was there, I presume. Oh yes, I do. Very well then. You may proceed to give your formal testimony about what exactly happened in your cabin aboard the ship on the evening of the 31st of October. Of course, as a man of the law, I have no intention of obstructing justice.
The events in the cabin.
I had a guest waiting for me when I returned to my cabin after finishing my evening meal in the dining room. When I walked through the door, a mustachioed Englishman was there, foolishly waving a gun at me. I soon took care of him with a Nippon seoi? Ippon seoi? It sounds like a Korean word, not a Japanese word, seoi. Weird. I soon took care of him with an Ippon seoi, though he couldn't wait to run away after that. I imagine his watch was broken when I threw him over my shoulder. It was nothing to do with his murder.
The man of law is not bothered giving bad judgments just to silence people and command murders. Also, lying to a court. But, well, you know.
The inspector was clearly killed after having returned to Britain, because his body was found in London. Ippon seoi? Oh, a common jujutsu martial arts technique in my country. I was careful not to use too much force, but the man obviously landed too heavily for his watch to take. So, Ryunosuke, naruhodo. I imagine you can see the flaw in your logic now, can't you?
What?
The fact that the pocket watch was broken in the witness cabin is in no way proves that the victim's murder took place there. Ah! Oh, I've no doubt the inspector intended to kill me.
How do you bring the bullet mark, though? He's gonna say it was Gregson's gun.
But he didn't manage to pull the trigger. Oh, no, it's not. It wasn't Gregson's gun then. Oh, yes, because he was merely the tactician, not the Reaper's Hand of Death. Well, the testimony appears to make perfect sense, as far as I can tell.
Man, this guy, he's all self-important, but he's no better than the usual judge.
Oh let me express my deep gratitude for your understanding, my lord.
Oh, but if this testimony holds, Judge Shikoku will be deemed to have had no involvement in the case.
Well, counsel, I really see no reason for wasting precious court time here on a cross-examination.
Sorry, my lord. The defense has a right to a cross-examination, so I don't intend to squander that.
Oh, you are an embarrassment to your countrymen, not knowing when you're beaten. In that case, proceed, Mr. Naruhodo.
The events in the cabin.
I had a guest waiting for me when I returned to my cabin after finishing my evening meal in the dining room.
Hold it!
Because the so-called guard posted at your cabin door had just let your killer pass, you mean?
Apparently, Gregson told the crewman he was a police inspector, which was the truth, of course.
You wouldn't have had his identification with him, though. Oh yeah, that's true.
He has his trench coat. Oh, he had his trench coat and a moustache, not to mention this bag of chips. I imagine the crewman was convinced.
But the man accompanying him would have had two swords, like with an S, slung around his waist.
You mean me?
Who else?
Oh yes, that's true. You wouldn't have hoped the sight of a few swords might have set off alarm bells in the guard's head. The point is, I left the cabin before its occupant returned, and I immediately disembarked the ship. Oh, certainly. All I can tell you is that only the inspector was waiting for me when I arrived back at my cabin. And you entered without any inkling of suspicion. Oh, that's right. None whatsoever. When I walked through the door, a mustachioed Englishman was there, foolishly waving a gun at me.
Hold it!
Classic attire for a policeman. Yeah. Obviously, you're talking about Inspector Gregson.
Oh yes, there was a time. I didn't know the man's name. And there was no time for introductions. I value my life over manners. Oh, well,
Can't blame him for that. Oh, by which you mean that the inspector was there to assassinate you, I suppose.
that was certainly the impression given by the gun pointing in my direction. But I've never seen the muzzle of a revolver shake about so much in all my life. Anyone would think the man had never shot somebody before.
Oh, believe it or not, most of us haven't. Speaking of shaking, I saw the evolution of the sprites in Ace Attorney, and in the very first game, when Phoenix was pointing his finger, he had some kind of bobbing to it. He wasn't still, and they removed that because it was very weird.
Anyway, there was no time to call for the help of the crewman at the door, so I dealt with the man myself. I soon took care of him with a Nippon Seoi throw, an Iponseo's throw, though he couldn't wait to run away after that.
Hold it!
Even though the man had a gun? That was a very brave move, wasn't it?
Ho 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 ho! My Iponseo is far faster than a bullet, I can assure you.
But surely, all that commotion caused the crewman to come in, didn't it?
Oh yes, of course. He burst in immediately without knocking. The inspector heard himself as a stocky fellow and just managed to slip past him to make his escape.
The outstanding guard does it again. Smell lies. I think you smell correctly.
Oh, luckily there aren't many situations I can't get out of using a quick Iponseo throw. I imagine his watch was broken when I threw him over my shoulder. It has nothing to do with his murder.
Hold it!
The crown snapped off, and the glass covering the face of the watch was cracked.
Preferable to the man's head being pulled off or his spine cracking, wouldn't you say? Not that the man was spared for long. A bullet to the chest soon saw to that. But the point is, the broken pocket watch doesn't prove that a murder took place. Oh, absolutely not. All the watch proves is the power of my jujutsu throw.
Whatever you say, doesn't quite ring true that no shot was fired in the cabin. Because there was an obvious bullet hole in the wall.
Ho 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 ho! What are you talking about? That's what the star of your...
Wait, what?
That's what the star of your lowbrow detective stories told you, is it? Well, I don't care for such fiction.
Oh, he means shells, alright. Huh?
Haven't you worked it out yet, you little stripling? No murder took place in my cabin. The inspector was clearly killed having returned to Britain, because his body was found in London.
Hold it!
But there's no evidence that proves the victim ever returned to London alive. Do we have evidence to the contrary, though?
Just take a moment to think that idea of yours through now, stripling.
What?
If the inspector was killed on the steamship in France, how on earth could he have got back to Britain? When people die, their bodies remain at that same spot. It's a devil of a thing.
Well, they can be moved. Well, then... Oh, yeah. Well, then... obviously the culprit must have moved the body.
How exactly? Carrying a corpse of a ship in your arms would raise a few eyebrows at least, don't you think?
His trunk, maybe? In the meat fridge with an Iponseo? In the trunk where maybe? I don't know. I don't think there was blood in the trunk. Yes. Oh, that's true. But
All passenger luggage is inspected when it is unloaded from arriving vessels.
all the passenger luggage, really? If Chikoku fits in the trunk, Surely Gregson does. Yeah. If the trunk fits, you must acquit.
And I would like to think the border police would query the corpse of an English gentleman as hand luggage. Oh, if the murder had taken place aboard the ship, you would imagine the body would have been disposed of at sea. Well, that's conjecture. There would be no sense in risking being caught by attempting to transport the body back to Britain. Except to incriminate someone, maybe.
Oh, that's killed that ID then. Oh, but perhaps not. Oh, Sato-san? Unless you want to incriminate Van Zeke, yeah. Oh, we've heard that the first-class passengers were under constant scrutiny, but the crewmen posted to guard them. Which would mean that the culprit had no opportunity to dispose of the body in the sea. Oh yes, that's true. So transporting the body to Britain may have been the only viable alternative.
Oh dear me. You really are new to this, are you? Aren't you?
Wait, what?
I thought I'd been perfectly clear, but it seems I'm going to have to explain it in words you can understand. I think I ought to alter my testimony. With your consent, of course, my lord. I have no objection. State your amended testimony now. There's no possible way I could have transported the victim's corpse back to Britain.
Oh, do we have anything about that? So, Kazuma's sword. Oh, maybe in Gregson's trunk. Do we have anything about that? I don't know. Oh wait, we have to press that.
Hold it!
There's an idea.
Think about it, stripling.
Stripling? What's a stripling? It's kind of funny because the woman in charge of the translation, she said she didn't want people to have to look up words while playing. Stripling. Youth. Okay.
All passengers and crew disembark at the same time and pass through the same check as at the border.
Shipping a youth. Yeah, thank you.
The symposium guests were then driven straight to the hotel in carriages organized by the ministry.
Oh, and we met you as soon as you arrived at the hotel.
So you did. Well then, remind me, did I have a corpse over my shoulder at the time?
No.
So we're in agreement then. I couldn't possibly have brought the inspector's body back to Britain. And that's of course to develop some clever device these days to instantly move things from A to B.
Oh dear. They might have. Oh, funny you should say that. Professor Hairbrain's invention didn't actually work, if you remember. Naruhodo-san. Oh yeah, yes, of course. I remember that.
The defense has become unusually quiet, I notice. Sorry. Oh yes, because there's really nothing more to say.
Oh, so that's his story. Oh well, I suppose if you think about it, whenever you drop a teacup in the office and it breaks, we don't say, oh, Naruhodo-san must have been murdered there, do we?
What are you saying?
Soto-san, is that a veiled threat about what might happen to me if I break another one? Oh, and the fact is that Inspector Gregson's body was found in the little room on Fresno Street. If he really was killed in Judge Shikoku's cabin, the body would have to have been moved somehow. Obviously. No, but you had a large strength. Yeah. Transporting a dead body over a country border. That would be impossible for the majority of people. Well, we don't say Naruhodo was killed because he's alive. Well, yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. Oh, there's a myth, so there must have been some special circumstances that made it possible for the culprit then. That could be a vital realization, I think. Naruhodo-san. Is it? What special circumstances? Do we have any special circumstances? That's the ticket. That's just a ticket. Oh, it looks like this is some sort of steamship ticket. Okay. This is grouse, okay. Run arrival 1st of November. Oh, okay. The passport. What? It was Gregson's passport, so I don't know, maybe, but I'll check just in case. Okay, diary, blah blah blah. What's that? What have we done? No! Oh no! That's not the... I misclicked, sorry. Alright. Dismissal notice, no. No, not related. Photograph, no. Policeman figurine, no. Red hairpiece, no. Revolver, no. No. Gregson's photograph, no. Autopsy report, no. Crime scene floor plan, no. Notice board, no. Firecrackers, no. Photograph of the victim, no. Gregson's pocket watch, no. Identification, it wasn't there, so no. What about this picture? The trunk is there. It's right there in front of us. Kasugi papers. No, that's not gonna be... It's trunk, it's gonna... It's not right now. It's not gonna be used right now. Passport document that was inspector. No. Clean certificate report. No. Irish lucky charm. No. Karma. No. Drill. Telegram. Okay, so it must be the picture. Okay, I had a guest waiting. When I walked through the door, I took care of him. Okay, imagine his watch was broken with the remover. Okay, that's not the way I could have transported the victim's corpse back to Britain. Okay, present. Release the picture.
Objection!
Oh, it's kind of funny because they... I think they're really very clever about setups and payoffs because Jigoku hiding in the trunk establishes very very well that you can put someone in there. I would say the opposite is true. Wait, did I say the previous phrase? There's no possible way you could have moved Inspector Gregson's body, you say? I would say the opposite is true.
And what's that supposed to mean?
Far from being impossible for you to do. The transporting of Inspector Gregson's body back to Britain is something only you could do. Oh dear.
What are you talking about?
Inosuke. As well as being a judge, Mr. Jigoku is also Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs. Oh, I didn't think about that. Which means he's exempt from having his luggage searched when he enters the country. We learned that when he first met you upon your arrival in London. Did we? Oh well, all those passport checks and luggage searches at the border took rather a lot of time. I must say, I'm very envious of your ministerial status. You didn't have to go through any of that, did you?
Oh, I knew you were jealous. Ha 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 ha.
I presume you recall this, Judge Jigoku. It's a photograph we took in the foyer of the hotel to mark the occasion. It doesn't look very happy, by the way. As the court will note, you have with you your luggage. You have with you your large travel trunk. Large enough, in fact, to have a corpse inside. Oh, Naruto-san, surely you're not suggesting? Of course I'm suggesting. I'm afraid I am, yes. 3 days ago, when we were chatting innocently with the new arrivals from Japan in the hotel, the body of Inspector Gregson was just meters away from us, inside Judge Jigoku's trunk.
What? Oh. Order! Order! Order in court! I'm skeptical, counsel, that a grown man's body could fit inside even the largest travel trunk.
It could. Because I happen to know that the witness himself, a man of considerable size, fits inside his trunk. And verifying that would be extremely simple, wouldn't it, Judge Jigoku? Oh, but inside his trunk. How horrifying. And after we'd spoken with you at the Great Waterloo Hotel, you had the opportunity to visit the apparent scene on Fresno Street, taking your trunk with you in a cab to deposit the inspector's body. He would have needed an accomplice, though. How did you know of Fresno Street? It's kind of weird.
I don't have to listen to this nonsense.
Dr. Gori, the coroner who examined the body, has confirmed the possibility. She's acknowledged there as signs that steps may have been taken to disguise the true time of death. The answer to the body's decomposition could have been delayed by storing it in a refrigerator.
Counsel, as I remember explaining yesterday, refrigerators of the requisite size are few and far between.
Oh yes, I'm sure they are. But one place they're certainly found is on large ocean liners. Such ships are equipped with electrically refrigerated cold rooms to keep food fresh on their long sea voyages. Can you imagine? You put the body there. Ah, don't mind this guy over there. He's just sleeping. And the SS Grouse is no exception. Professor Mikotoba told me about it only yesterday. Well, Church Chigoku? Don't mind my trunk in the fridge. Yeah, I just like to have my clothes cold, that's all. However much you prolong this debate. However much you prolong this debate, you can't eliminate the truth. All the evidence points to you being the killer. Well, this is all very heartening. Huh? I can see that it was a wise move, letting Asogi and you embark on this study tour. What are you talking about now? Oh, logical reasoning, of course. All court proceedings will be built on logical reasoning in the new century. And I can see that you've both laid firm foundations for that already. Oh, Judge Shigoku, please, stop diverting attention from the issue at hand. The defense has made an accusation against you. How do you respond?
Respond? There's really no need for me to respond, is there?
Why ever not?
Oh, because before you can even begin to answer the question of when the victim was killed, you must first establish one key fact. Where was the victim killed? It's quite logical.
The actual scene of the crime.
The prosecution stance is unaltered. The killing took place on Fresno Street when the gunshot was heard. As the accused, Barak Van Zieks shot the victim at point-blank range. Since no tangible evidence exists to disprove the prosecution's claim at this time, the defense's deductions amount to little more than an elaborate fairy tale.
I gotta say, they don't have a bullet, so I don't understand why we even have a discussion.
I'm afraid that's how the logical reasoning the British are known for really works. Young stripling.
Young stripling? Isn't that a bit redundant? Because the prosecution is the truth by default? Apparently, yeah. Well, the judge is always kind of leaning on this side. The victim was shot in that little room on Fresno Street and died instantly. I'm afraid it's the prosecution's claim. That's the only fairy tale here.
How can you say that?
Quite simply. Because that claim directly contradicts a certain piece of evidence in our possession. Does it?
Very tantalizing, counsel. I think you had better explain yourself to the court, don't you?
The prosecution claims that Inspector Gregson died instantly when he was shot at the scene on Fresno Street. But this evidence clearly contradicts those claims. Oh, I'm gonna save because I have no idea what he's talking about. We have proof. Do we? Telegram from Japan. No. A small component. No. Evacuation itinerary. No. The sword. No. Lucky charm. No. Autopsy report. No. Passport. No. Trunk. No. No, the trunk doesn't prove anything. No, it only proves that Gregson had met with Kazuma somehow. That's the only thing it proves. The Yasugi papers. No, that's not going to be it. Photograph. No. Inspector identification. No. Pocket watch. No. Photograph of the victim. Does it tell us anything? No. Firecrackers, no. Notice board, no. Crime scene floor plan. There's a blood stain on it, but I'm not sure that proves anything. No, because it could be anybody's blood, so it doesn't prove the thing. Autopsy report. According to the coroner, Dr. Gory, an accurate estimation of the time of death is simply not possible. The old photograph, no. The candelabrum? No. Revolver. Hairpiece. Figurine. The frame photograph. The dismissal notice. No. The letter of introduction or the ticket for the steamship? No. Photograph of Mr. Vigil? No. Advertisement. The newspaper? No. Yeah, but wait, I don't know. I don't see what we have. Wait, what are we trying to contradict here? The prosecution claims that Inspector Gregson died instantly when he was shot on the scene on Fresno Street. The victim was shot. I think it's the dying instantly that's the problem here. What does the autopsy report says? Time of death indeterminate. Victim was shot in the chest at close range from the front, resulting in instant death. Scorch marks at point of entry. The bullet exited the body from behind. The caliber of the gun used matched that of standard issue firearms for members of the judiciary. It does say instant death, yeah. How do they know the caliber of the gun used? They don't have the bullet. Oh, do they? No, we don't have the bullet. Is it the candelabrum? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it can only be that because... Oh, wait. I don't know. It would be weird to have to present the same evidence, but we already disproved that he died there, so that's kind of weird. Also, how did he get... How is there a puddle of blood? I don't know, that's the only thing that could make sense.
Take that!
It's not that. The Japanese are really a curious breed. To proffer an argument with such conviction, only to present such nonsensical evidence. Perhaps my Japanese friend's inexplicable thinking is why people talk of the mystic of the East. Oh, in case you hadn't noticed, I'm not the only Japanese around here. You even have a mirror. The court is not interested in the mystique of anything. You will be penalized accordingly. Oh, was the victim killed in the room of Fresno Street? Or was he moved there after his death? There's one piece of evidence we have that shows the answer to the question surprisingly clearly. Really? Do we? Oh, perhaps we should try to present the correct one this time then. Naruto-san. Oh, that's a good advice, Sato-san. I didn't think about that. Are you going to try again? Or can't you hold your hand steady enough to point it out? The prosecution claims that Inspector Gregson died instantly when he was shot at the scene on Fresno Street. That's advice worthy of Hypnos. Yeah. But this evidence clearly contradicts that claim. What claim? He died instantly. He died instantly. The watch? No. By the way, where did the wig come from? It's never been established. That's weird. We have evidence that clearly establishes that he didn't die instantly. Is that so? I don't see it. I don't know. That the body was moved? Do we have proof? I don't see how we have proof to that. That's weird. These firecrackers. Notice board, no. Crime scene 4 plans, that's not gonna do anything. Autopsy report. Gun. Figurine. Wait. Was the victim killed in the room of Fresno Street, or was he moved after his death? There's one piece of evidence we have that shows the answer to that question surprisingly clearly. Perhaps you should try to present the correct one. Okay. Was the victim killed in the room of Fresno Street, or was he moved after his death? Was he moved after his death? He's been moved, of course. And how do we know that? How do we know that? Nothing else in Gregson's trunk? I don't think. Let's have a look inside. Okay. I did check thoroughly all that. There's nothing there. There's only the thing here. There's the middle fragment. The tip of Karuma. So this is how it was broken. Kazuma's swordsmanship is second to none. I can't believe he misjudged it like that. Oh, clearly he wasn't in his right mind. He didn't have full control of the power in his stroke, too distracted by malicious thoughts, perhaps. Well, that wouldn't be surprising. After all, he was on an assassination mission. Ah. There's the blood stain. Look at this dark stain here, do you think? Oh yes, I'm afraid so. I think it's blood. I knew you were going to say that. So that presumably means that this was present at the scene when Inspector Gregson was killed. It's the most logical conclusion, yes. I do think Jean has been carrying this around with her. If you didn't know any better, I suppose it does look like a grease stain from all the fishing ships. It doesn't help. It doesn't prove that it was moved. Because this proves that he went there. Well, they even said so, so we don't have to prove he was on the boat. We have to prove he didn't die on Fresno Street. But how do we prove that? I don't see it. I don't see it. Does the passport have stamps that certify the crossing of the border? I don't know. Doesn't say. I'm gonna look it out because I don't want to spend too much time on that. Okay, so what does it say? Story. Wait, is this adventures? No, I want the other game. It's only giving me the first one. Ah, Chronicles, okay. Resolve, alright. Okay, so the resolve of Rinsuke Naruhodo. Trial part 2. Is this part 2? Okay, that's it. Events in the cabin. Cross-examination. Commemorative photograph, alright. More, okay, well, I guess that's true, but, yeah, I don't know. It's a bit weird. Okay, so is this photograph? Because they're saying, oh, the position he's in is obviously not the way you would fall if you died. It's kinda far-fetched.
A photograph of the victim in the very location you claim he wasn't killed? Is that a joke?
Yes, it's a joke. But the point is, the posture of the body itself.
Hmm?
If Inspector Gregson had been shot there in that room, it's out of the question that his body would have been curled up in a ball like that. I don't know. Oh yeah, because... Oh, the thing is... I don't know. Maybe he could have fallen like that. Who knows? But... The thing is, Van Zix couldn't have moved the body because the others just arrived instantly. So, yeah, there's that. What about the wig? Why is there a wig? I hope we're gonna know.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, but your logic is flawed. You could easily have adopted such fatal position due to the pain of the shot, which subsequently proved fatal.
Objection!
I'm sorry to disappoint you, Judge Chigoku, but it's your logic that is flawed. What? According to this autopsy report, subsequently, it is not possible if it was instant. Yeah. According to this autopsy report, the victim died instantly. He would have felt no pain, much less have been able to draw himself into that position. Oh! Which begs the question of, why the victim's body is curled up in that way? Though the answer should be abundantly clear by now. You're suggesting... The inspector's body took on that posture ahead of its arrival on Fresno Street, before it was coldly turned out on the floor, from the inside of a large travel trunk. Oh, by the way, if Gregson's body was put in a freezer, how did the fish and chips rot before his body? I'm not sure. Oh no!
Oh, you're quite right. The shape of the body. It looks exactly as if it had been kept in a confined space.
Judge Goku, present your trunk for examination.
Oh dear. I believe it's very possible that it will contain traces of the victim's blood.
Oh! Present my trunk! I refuse.
What? On what grounds? How to put a coat on a curled up rigid body. Yeah. Or remove it, for that matter.
I'm the Minister of Foreign Affairs from the Empire of Japan. I shouldn't have to put up with this treatment just because of some stripling spacious accusations.
Oh, in other words, Judge Goku, there's blood in your trunk.
Typical Sato. I decline to answer that. As a Minister of Foreign Affairs, I have privileges.
At this moment, you're not a government minister. You're a witness in a trial in Britain's highest courts. I don't care who you are or what your status outside this courtroom might be. You will not withhold information.
Nothing is more important than the truth. Oh, you say that because you're not guilty. Oh, sorry. Oh. Order. Order in the court. Well, Mr. Chikoku, what's it to be? You can't be serious. You did it. Ah. Have you no shame at all, Kazuma Asogi? What? Very well. Admit it. Did bring the inspector's body into the country. Inside my trunk, exactly as postulated by the defense. But I didn't kill him. Is this what you're gonna say? What? Oh, you... Dear God. Outrageous. So it was you? No. I admit nothing, do nothing more than what I said. What? What? That makes no sense. Of killing the man, I certainly have no recollection. Wait, what? I don't remember. Strangely, I forgot everything about this night. But I don't remember killing him, so must have not... It can't be me. What on earth is that cryptic statement supposed to mean? Or merely dispose of the inspector's body, which was left in my cabin, in order to avoid unwanted attention. As the judicial assistant over there pointed out, I had no chance to throw it into the ocean. So, I decided my only option was to bring it to Britain with me and dispose of it somewhere else. You can't still deny it. If you didn't do it, then who on earth did kill the man? As you know, there was one other person in my cabin that night. He had the opportunity. And moreover, he'd already accepted a mission to take the inspector's life. Huh? He's accusing Kazuma, yeah. That's right, who else could it have been? It was you, Kazuma Asogi. You. Oki-sama. I never thought I'd stoop to this, Seishiro Jikoku. Oh, you've taken those words straight out of my mouth. Prosecutor Kazuma Asogi. You thought by leaving the body in my cabin, you could pin the crime on me, did you? Well, the prosecution counsel has already admitted to visiting the witness's cabin on the night in question. Yes, on an assassination mission, no less. You wouldn't. I would. So, what do you make of that, young stripling? You've heard my testimony now, and that's all I have to say on the matter. I'll admit to nothing more.
Oh, I don't believe this.
Counsel for the defense. What is your position now? The court awaits your response to the witness's assertion.
Kazuma had no judicially issued gun, though, does he? But neither did Judge Jigoku, though.
The assertion that on the night in question, the victim's assailant was in fact Mr. Kazuma Asogi.
Oh, this isn't dead end, it seems to be. The answer's right in front of me. Maybe Gregson's own gun was turned against him. Probably. Because nobody had a gun. Except Gregson, of course. Comes down to Chikoku or Kazuma. Both of them had the opportunity to kill Gregson, but only one of them did it. Or maybe both of them did it. Oh my god. He was already dead when I killed him. And I'm just a step away from proving who. Oh, very well. The defense is ready to respond to the assertion put forward by Judge Jigoku. And sadly, we're gonna have to stop here because it's too late. It's very late. They both joined their hands and had both their finger on the trigger at the same time. Yeah. Oh man. It's kind of obvious that it wasn't Kazuma, by the way. I don't know why they're asking us that. It's kind of weird. Oh man. I think there's still a lot more to uncover in this story. What a journey. But sadly we gotta stop for tonight. But I'm gonna continue tomorrow. I hope you can be there, Pakishu. Oh. Good night. Yeah, thank you. Have a good day. Tomorrow is a holiday. Oh, perfect timing. Not sure we can finish that tomorrow though. We're thinking maybe of starting earlier, but you're not gonna be there, so I don't know. I don't know how you feel about that. We'll see. Yes, I might stick to this schedule. There's always replays. Yeah, but you know, I mean, oh yeah, because either that or I don't know. The thing is, we don't know how much time we have left. So if I start earlier, there's no way to know when it's gonna end. Well, I'm gonna stick to this schedule. So, yeah. So yeah, as usual, thanks for being here. Please take care, stay safe. I'll see you tomorrow then. Bye.